Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Portalcast, a podcast that focuses on our favorite addition to the Battlefield franchise, Portal. My name is Mancour, and I'll be your host for this second episode. And tonight I'm joined by Glasgow's own Andy. How are you doing, man?
Doing well, thanks for having me.
Lovely. And across the border in England, on his good mic tonight, apparently, we got Pete, aka BattlefieldDad. How are you, Pete?
Very good, thanks. Hopefully this is a little bit better than the last one. So good to be here again. Great stuff.
And making his first appearance on the podcast, and probably not his last, my German neighbor, TheOzzy. Wie geht's?
Hi, thank you very much. Doing good. So thanks for having me.
Lovely. Well, great to have you all here tonight, and boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about, because a lot of Portal news dropped last Thursday, and we're here to talk about the new features that will come in the next iteration of Portal, launching October 10th as part of BF6, and it's less than 2 weeks left, guys, so the wait is almost over. And I want to get straight into it and abuse my powers as the host and go first to talk about a little something that got me excited, which is the ability to set how many teams you want and how many players per team as well. In Portal 2042, we could only choose between free-for-all mode or the standard 2 teams fighting it out, but now we can set 3, 4, 5, 12, 15, whatever teams you'd like, and choose how many players should be in each team. So you can even make a couple of teams that are smaller, which, I don't know, 3 players each, alongside 2 other teams with 10 players each, just as an example. And I think we should all be very excited about this feature because it opens so much more configurations for modes. I'm thinking about Battle Royale-esque modes, extraction-type modes, modes that play similar to the finals. All modes in which several duos or trios or squads or team or whatever size you're going with can fight it out, and it can really make a lot of modes more dynamic. Are you excited as I am? That's my question. Have fun.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I mean, we
just
saw.
to mention.
Go on.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. say.
Yes, just as you mentioned, the battle royale thing or tournament thing, maybe from the finals. So just imagine a team being spectators. So everybody crying for the spectator mode being missing. So we have the possibilities to change camera. Apparently. So what about a
Yeah.
team just being spectators, having a different camera angle, stuff like this? So crazy.
Crazy indeed. Yeah, I was thinking about Pete's mode, Uplink. Great name, by the way.
Welcome.
Based on the War Pigeons mode from BF1. And in that mode, and in your version of it in 2042, you have 2 teams duking it out. But what if there were 4 or 5 or 6 teams? That would really make it a lot more dynamic, I think. So all in all, for me, a great iteration on, a great new feature of the new Portal.
I mean, this is the thing. The only thing we don't know is how many teams you can actually have, because I saw in the videos that they stacked up maybe 5 teams, and we don't know what that's going to be. What I thought was really interesting was the fact that we can mix those teams up, like you mentioned. So we can have teams of AI, or we can have teams with different quantities of players on. And I thought it's going to be really interesting to see what modes come out of that. I mean, I've already got ideas about what those kind of things might be. But like you said, Uplink would have been interesting if we could have had more teams. And I know that a lot of people got in contact with me saying that that was something that was holding them back from doing their modes. So now it's going to be interesting what comes out of this, I think. Were there any modes that you thought could have been better because of the... I'm taking over the host for a second, but were there any modes that you thought would have been better if we could have had more teams?
Well, for me personally, I'm thinking about my own modes, Gunfight Royale, for instance, which is free for all, and I did make a team Gunfight Royale mode later, but yeah, making it in trios or duos or whatever would be a whole lot more fun. Also Loadout, which I made, in which you get a new primary, secondary, and a gadget and a throwable each minute. instead of having it free for all or a team deathmatch, putting those duos or trios or squads or whatever in, it makes it more dynamic. So it's not the most exciting examples, but I was mostly thinking about my own advantages that I could get for the modes I made for 2042. How about you, Andy?
Well, a couple of things is that I quite like the idea of if you've got multiple teams, you could have, let's say like small squads of players, and then you could have one final large team of AI to then interfere between the squads. But I mean, one mode I was working on was like a co-op campaign. But if you could do like a campaign, but maybe have two teams up against one another to fight through, I think that would be an interesting way to put a bit of a twist, make it more replayable as well.
Yeah, competing over certain game mode objectives, and yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm also excited about narrative possibilities or making single player-esque modes in the new Portal. So yeah, good times ahead.
Did you notice Did you notice in the videos where they're talking about you used to be able to assign different weapons to different teams, but now you can fully customize all 5 teams as well. So so you could have a team with just SMGs and a team with just sniper rifles and a team with just something else. Also, I thought that was interesting as well, because that might play into the mix a little bit as well. I'm curious to know where that's going to end up as well.
Yeah, asymmetric modes.
Yeah. Exciting stuff for me.
Definitely. Well, we're all in agreement on that, I guess. Any other features you guys are excited about? How about with the new host here, Ozzy?
Yeah, I don't know where to start actually. So there were a lot of things revealed lately, but I think what we also already know about was the Spatial Editor. I think where you can start building whole new worlds, and this actually adds a whole new dimension to the customizability of game modes, I think. So if we think about what we were able to do with the tools that we were given in 2042, you could already do a lot. But yeah, there were some kind of limits when you said like, okay, I want to limit the boundaries of the map or stuff like this. And now limiting the boundaries is just a gimmick, but building a whole new lot of structures and moving structures as we have seen, or modifying structures on the go, that opens up a lot of ideas and is crazy. Yeah. So that's what
Definitely.
I'm pretty much excited about, but maybe also a bit skeptical how to do it actually, how it works out in the end. But yeah, we will see.
Yeah, what you said, we can customize the out of bounds areas, of course, and set up custom capture points. Something I already saw in the latest batch of videos with the conquest on the bigger maps versus the escalation mode, in which the escalation mode had several extra capture points, which they probably made in the Godot spatial editor, and we can make it also. For me, it would be great to select certain parts of maps and make sure that they feel confined. For instance, for a gunfight mode, instead of building custom walls around it, I can just set up a out-of-bound area, and they can probably see it on the minimap, and it would make communicating the play area to the players a lot more easier. So that's one small little thing about the spatial editor I'm also excited about. How about you, Andy?
I'm absolutely in love with the spatial editor. I mean, I was someone that was creating like zombie maps for Black Ops, so map editing is my go-to. So even seeing the videos of even objects being movable, I mean, you could use that to make arenas that move around, for instance, or you could have them play as part of the objective, maybe to move with something. Even with the boundaries, you could make, instead of having larger areas, you can have tight-knit arenas that you can use for game modes. the possibilities are virtually endless. They really are.
And probably dependent on what kind of assets there will be, probably in a library. I'm already fantasizing about certain asset packs that they might drop in the future. Jack Frax mentioned also in this video that regarding the horde mode that we saw, the zombies-esque mode in which you're, in the footage they showed, we're fighting Pax Armada, but they could release a zombies pack, for instance, or nearing Christmas they could release snow textures and I don't know what. So it can really expand on the asset library, because I'm thinking we're not going to get custom assets for a long while, if we're getting that at all. So yeah, great times ahead with the assets. Yeah. And also what you mentioned earlier regarding the possibility to set camera angles, and we had a great little fun discussion on the Discord this afternoon, actually, regarding, for instance, setting the camera in third-person mode for the players, or making a top-down mode, or setting or locking the camera in such a way that we can make all sorts of 2D modes with Tetris blocks, or a Contra Metal Slug kind of mode, or a Metroidvania. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but all the things that might be possible, that, yeah, where am I going to find the time?
I mean, there was a mutator. I've had a good look over the last couple of days. It's in slow motion at the video. So I've got something of my own coming out, but I did notice that the third-person camera is actually now available as a mutator in the. So that's going to be relatively easy, but it does mean clearly that we can move that camera around. So it just depends on what flexibility we've got for it. But I'd like to see something like, I'm a fan of the old retro games, and I was thinking I'd really like to make a. Do you remember Gauntlet? So I'm looking, maybe you don't remember Gauntlet, but it's like a top-down kind of maze game where you run around and you shoot little people and you get keys to open doors. Somebody watching this, listening to this, knows what I mean. Anyway, I thought it would be really cool to kind of redo that using the Spatial Editor, using a top-down view. Because we can put walls pretty much wherever we want to, it looks like. Because you saw the video with Jack Frags with what they call it, Dust 2 or whatever it is, with all the walls, and obviously they built their own little level maybe within another level. So the flexibility there is going to be incredible. Oh, and also, did you see the giant digger? The massive digger? I mean,
we can scale all these assets. And he also mentioned it briefly in his video that sort of toy soldiers mode would be great. Sort of along the lines of Honey, I Shrunk the Soldiers, and make a real big living room in which we can fight with large furniture or whatever.
Yeah, and I have a feeling those kind of things should be pretty easy to do, I think. I mean, my big concern, as you were saying, was that there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, because I suspect, I mean, I don't know how many people know how to use Godot, but obviously there's going to be a learning curve to use that, and I think there's going to be a step up in difficulty for some of these things. So I'm hoping that much of it is quite easily and accessible, at least for people that are starting out. Because the more people we have creating things, the better, the more fun we have.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what the point from my end was about. Like we saw in this Tokyo Game Show, a bit more was revealed about the rules editor. So we know that there is a script tab, and we know some block categories and saw some blocks. So, and I was wondering about this category named transform, which had like an icon for about 3D transforming tools. And I was like, okay, so this is interesting. So where are we actually going to do this stuff? Is it in Godot? Is it then maybe also in the rules editor? So yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, well, maybe. Obviously, with the existing version, we've got blocks, and we can, whatever we can do in the blocks, hopefully we can do in the script. And hopefully then we've got access to some of the things that are in the Spatial Editor, how much that'll be. Who knows? But if we do, then things get really exciting then, don't they? If you can scale things on the fly, if you can move things on the fly,
That's
using a script.
apparently
Then
what's happening. If we saw this Des2 entry, I guess the spawn area where the wall was moving down, so that hyped me a lot to see.
right,
Well,
so now I need to watch
seem
this.
to be able.
Oh, yeah, you'll
seem
need
to
to.
be able to do this on the go. So that opens up so much possibilities.
Yeah, it's like the start of the round, there's this big wall, and then when the round starts, the wall comes down and phases through the floor to open up. So it looks like you've got that full control during the match.
Yeah, when they set certain conditions, like halfway or later in a match when new angles or lanes open up or close or whatever. So yeah, movable assets, objects, while not only setting them in advance, but setting certain triggers to have them move in the game, in the mode. Yeah, awesome.
I mean,
did not expect that.
No, well, this is, but I mean, this is what we wanted from Portal 1, and if we're being honest, these are the kinds of tools that are available in other, custom games that allow you to modify things. But it really, I mean, it's about time it came to Battlefield, isn't it? It's about time these modding tools started to get to this level to allow us to do what we want to do in the way that we want to. So it's really, I mean, it's just brilliant. I'm getting a little bit of tingling going on at the moment, just hearing about that wall collapsing, because that's making me think now. So,
well, we'll hurry on then with our episode, so you can watch it tonight. And moving on, Pete, anything you're particularly excited about?
Right. Okay. So we've done the spatial edit. We could go down the list and say all of these things that are really exciting, but one of the things in the original one, which was really a bit of a pain, and I've mentioned this before, I think we have mentioned it before, was the user interface and the scoreboard. Because, I mean, how would you say it was there? It was functional. It worked, and there were a few things that we saw in that trailer that could be interesting. So we know that there's something going on with the scoreboard, and we know that it's going to be customizable, but we haven't seen much of that aside from, unless there was something at the Tokyo Game Show that I missed. But there was the ability to select a different scoreboard. So I think in the video they only show free for all or something like that, the scoreboard. But that's going to be interesting because the scoreboard was a pain, if we're honest. And they did do some messing around because it would, I don't know, let's say my game mode is based on time or it's based on points or whatever it might be to win. But the scoreboards were really just based on kills. That ultimately. And you couldn't change the wording either. So it's obviously it was nonsensical. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that scoreboard and seeing how much flexibility we have with it. But the UI, again, we've not seen enough of that to get to fully understand what we're going to be capable of. I'd like to see interactive menus. The ability to do that, because that we mentioned before that's a pain. We can definitely do things like move things around the screen. We've seen different colors. It seems like a small thing, doesn't it? You can change the color of a box or some text, and you can change the size of it and move it around. So we saw a lot of that in the little video that we saw. It's going to be curious to see where that goes, but that opens up so much that we can do with messaging to the player, or custom scoreboards. I think we saw like something at the top left hand corner in that the plane flying chase mode, and then I saw there was a little flash across the screen. What did it say? Overtake, I think, something like that. So it's going the UI and the scoreboard options look like potentially they're going to be really very, very helpful to make modes. And again, with story modes, UI is everything really. So yeah, I mean that's the stuff that I'm excited about. What options we're going to get with the scoreboard? What can we do with this UI? But we know we're going to be able to do a lot.
Yeah, looks like font types, font sizes, colors as well. Maybe opacity and color of text boxes. For instance,
definitely positioning.
Positioning. Yeah, in 2042 we had only a few places where we could place messages. We had that game mode message in top center, that pop-up notification top right message with a duration of 6 seconds, and 5 slots for custom messages, including one header, and that was basically it. But we're also getting icons. They're back. and it looks like we're getting more variety in it, and also more ways to place it in that AI, or not AI, in the jet race mode. The way they made those circles with those green icons to fly through. Yeah, that's gonna help a lot.
There was a lot on the screen at once, wasn't there? There was a lot of
Yes.
those icons visible at the same time.
Yeah, you could see the next rings in the distance as well. So the limitations on the amount of icons seems greatly expanded or lifted. So that's great for communicating with the players. Yeah.
Now,
Andy,
who
is,
made?
oh, sorry. Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, who made the flying through the AI? The wingsuits.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was another Andy.
It
I
was
guess,
another
in the
Andy.
very beginning. Yeah.
Wasn't this Andy?
No, it wasn't this
No, it
Andy.
wasn't.
There's another Andy out there.
Too many Andys. But that was brilliant, obviously. But just think,
Yeah.
now we can get rid of the AI and actually make it look like a proper mod.
Didn't we also have like they froze those AI bots in 2042 in place and spotted them and made a BR circle from them?
Yes.
I did that one mine.
Yeah.
And I made them
What was
rotate
yours?
in a big
Oh.
circle and flash, so that you could see. That was bonkers. They did get smaller, like a proper ring.
Yeah,
but,
that was amazing. So I took a look at this as well. But I guess, yeah, really, getting the mode's functionality or ID across to the player was the main pain point in Portal, and that maybe also led to its fall down
Yeah.
in 2042, because people would randomly hop onto a Portal server, see something is custom, but they didn't know what was going on. If everything is just looking the same way as in the normal game, you don't have any attraction to the eye.
People
and
don't
that
like to
made
read.
people,
So
yeah, people definitely don't like to read. You can put on screen whatever you want. If it's in the same old boring location, nobody's going to look there.
Yeah.
So yeah, having ways to attract the eye of the player is, I guess, very helpful. Yeah.
It does look like there is quite a lot of customization with this UI. There was an article I was reading this afternoon where supposedly one of the developers was able to create Pong using the new UI. So if you've got that much control to be able to play Pong on the UI, there must be a lot of freedom for us.
Indeed. Though I must say the text and the timers and stuff they've shown in the release Portal video did look a bit basic and rudimentary. I was getting like late 90s, early 2000 PC game UI vibes. So I'm hoping for expanded support on this. Maybe releasing symbols or icons that you can place in the UI, so the look will be a bit more professional. For instance, in a gunfight mode, instead of showing the score 6-3, show dots on screen. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
if you
we
think
said before
what-
that. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just about saying, just think of what people were able to do with the limitations of 2042's version of Portal. So we had buy menus and stuff like this. We had floating text messages, which was, of course, pain to realize, but it was possible. So I don't want to imagine what's possible with these possibilities, even if they are, let's say, limited as well, but already opens up a lot new possibilities. So yeah,
that brings me back to your go prone and hold interact to switch teams code that you made for our frontlines mode, Ozzy.
Yeah, I think the best comment I received on that video lately was, "Oh man, that guy spent so much minutes just to explain one setting in the editor." I was like, yes, it was some early time where not that much mutators were available, and I think that's maybe another thing we're looking for, is that we got, I don't know, more than 100 mutators now that we can select from. So it's that you don't even have to script things, but you can just simply select drop down or whatever from the beginning, and don't have to go that deep into rules or anything. So yeah, also something I'm looking for.
And for people like me who have no coding experience, we're also going to be hoarding all those custom scripts on our bfportal.gg website. So if you're looking for anything to do, anything to add, and you're not sure how to do it, maybe check out the website for help on that, and check out the Discord as well. End of plug. Moving on, Andy, anything particularly you're excited about?
Yeah. One of the things that's been mentioned is that we're now going to get AI scripting, which I've been looking forward to this. I mean, we've been trying to do all sorts of wacky ways to try and get AI to do what we want in 2042, and to a very limited degree. So as soon as we've been told, right, you're going to be able to now script the AI, get them to do what you like, potentially, that opens up a lot that we can do. So if we've got custom objectives, get them to follow the objectives for a start. You could even maybe potentially set it up to give them commands to maybe follow certain players as well, or maybe help them to support you in, say, if you're doing like a co-op mode as well. But again, if you're wanting to do like a campaign, for example, you could set the AI to have certain behaviors for, say, have to defend certain areas. So it opens up a whole lot for us to be able to.
Definitely. Saw you nodding there, Pete. Anything going on in that big brain? No.
Lots.
Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, no, there's nothing going on. Yeah, I mean, from an experience, for me, more of the in the early days, I saw a lot of people trying to write these story modes and trying to use the original kind of tool set to kind of plot out some kind of fantastical story. And I think they kind of died off a little bit towards the end. I think people kind of gave up because the experience wasn't really there. I mean, the UI lent into that, but just getting the AI to do whatever we want to do. So now potentially story modes, Metal Gear Solid kind of modes, sneaking around kind of thing. These single player modes or these co-op modes with a little bit of a deeper interactivity with the AI. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, and it's curious. There's a lot of really creative people out there with some brilliant ideas that never got the chance to realize them because the tools weren't there. And now potentially we can get some of those, and the AI scripting I think is a big part of that. I mean, I'm curious to know. It comes back to just how easy is it, how accessible is it, what can we make them do. And how easy is it to make them to do that? I think that the proof will be in that. But the very fact that it's in there, as we said before, shows they've been listening. Because we all of us have complained about the AI not doing what they're supposed to do. So yeah, it's good to see that it's in there. I just want to see it in action.
Definitely. You as well, Ozzy? Excited about the AI, the scripting?
Yeah, as much as I like story modes, as I'm also looking forward to the single player, that's always some tedious work to get it going. And I think, AI scripting probably is not going to be easy as well. But yeah, definitely for the people willing to have it, probably a really nice feature. I mean, yeah, even for us or for the simple modes, if you can at least give directions or some predefined directions, that's a lot helpful, like Andy said already. So yeah, also looking forward to this.
Things that are perhaps a little bit more generic, right? Like at a given point, go here, or attack this objective, or defend this objective. Those kind of things, just at a basic level will be handy. And I'm a little bit like you. I don't know whether I have the patience to write a full single player mode. I just I'm all about multiplayer myself anyway. Really, that's where I spend most of my time, and thinking about these ways of getting these teams to play together in something exciting. That's where I'm at. But there are those people out there. They wanna write these modes. They wanna do those things. Who's to say we won't see something like GoldenEye or something like that with special. I mean, let's be careful, won't they? But but who knows? Who knows what we'll see? I don't know. But yeah,
Someone's going to
It
make
would
a
be
great horror-esque story, probably.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
But for me as well, it basically comes down to giving AI more rudimentary directions. For instance, in the frontlines mode that we worked on as well, we had the central objective, of course, that was shifting in the match, and we also picked two adjacent capture points as HQs or spawn points for both teams. But the AI in 2042 could not decide or didn't know that we had to fight over the central objectives, and the other two outposts, spawn points, were not capturable. But still, only 1/3 of the AI went to the center. So those little things are, for me personally, with Gunfight Royale, well, I put an icon in the center of the circle, and the AI should go to that icon. And
Yeah.
well, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it in 2042. They run around like I don't know, like zombies, going every other way, only shooting and sometimes reviving. And having more control over that would make modes way more playable as well, because a lot of modes that we're going to put out there, they're not going to be uh, filled up all the way, and having those bots there and having better behavior from them to showcase the mod as well, to communicate towards the player as well what the objectives are, well, that would definitely help with getting all these cool modes that we're making across. Yeah, Andy, you're right. AI. Let's hope for some a lot of detailed customization options and triggers for specific circumstances to trigger certain behavior. And
Yeah, I'm just
really
even
happy. It's
Oh,
really happy. Battlefield is launching on a Friday, so I have a whole weekend just to dive into this stuff. Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
No, you're all right. The only thing I was just thinking of is if, like Ozzy was mentioning earlier, if you've got the ability to, like, say, place a camera, and if you've got AI scripting as well, I'm thinking technically you could have like a top-down command and conquer kind of style of game. If you can point the bots where to go, use the Spatial Editor to place factories per se for building units.
Downsize a factory-esque building towards a smaller model, and then use that as a spawn point for as a barracks for troops or something.
And then have certain objects to represent like resource points around the map and stuff.
I'm wondering how many servers are going to be destroyed and how much the infrastructure team at the Battlefield Studios is going to hate it. All created. So, yeah.
You've done what?
Yeah. Awesome.
Going to be interesting, I think. I mean, the other thing is we don't know what the limits are with the Spatial Editor. I was just thinking, because talking about that, I mean, how much can we chuck on the screen at once? That's another question. Because
but I think that's where scaling also comes in handy, because I think the most part where we were speculating about was how many assets can you place. I mean, you were limited in the mode sizes even in 2042, what you can upload in the end as a finished experience, and then we always heard like, when they shrink the maps from 2042 and put more cover in, they were always told like, limited amount of assets and stuff like this. And that was the first thing I was thinking about when they said, spatial editing and you can place objects, etc. So how much are we actually going to be able to put on top of an existing map? So when there was this kind of asset limitation, and I think, I mean, if you don't have to place multiple times the same wall to achieve a big wall, but you can scale one wall to a bigger size, that should already help. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But the first thing somebody's going to do is chuck 1,000 walls. Just going to throw 1,000 things on and see whether it breaks something, aren't they?
Yeah, so I mean, you can just take a look on the Discord server. I mean, there are already people spinning up plugins, I think, for Godot to put prefabs onto a spline, for example. So, and what you see there, yes, already makes my software developer heart think about the resources consumed. So,
Yep.
will be interesting.
Well, a possible limitation on the assets will probably be a good thing, though. If there's too much stuff in the game, it will probably get laggy, and then the mode's going to suck anyway. So hopefully the limit is large.
Yeah. Finding a balance.
True that.
Yeah.
All right. How about wrapping it up? Keeping it a bit snappier this time instead of the
I was enjoying the chat
90 minutes. Alrighty. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Portalcast. Battlefield Portal is about creativity, experimentation, and community, and we want to hear from you. Visit the website over at bfportal.gg and join the conversation with us on our Discord. We're at bf_portal_hub on X and on YouTube. And don't forget to share your favorite Portal modes, mods, and moments. Who knows, we might feature them in an upcoming episode. If you enjoyed the show, hit that follow or subscribe button and share it with your squad. And until next time, keep building, keep experimenting, and we'll see you on the battlefields. Later!